ערב שבת קודש, פרשת ויגש, תשפ"ג. In the beginning, we have to thank Kenny Ripstein for taking upon himself the whole Sefer Bereshit. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu will bless him and his family with the bracha v'atzlacha, health, and nachat from all his children. The shiur tonight was sponsored by an anonymous in honor of me. Chazak Baruch for him, Kadosh Baruch Hu will bless him with bracha v'atzlacha, and Kadosh Baruch Hu will fulfill all his wishes letovah. This week's Parashat Vayigash, we read about the brothers and Yaakov that came to Eretz Mitzrayim. When the brothers came to Egypt, Yosef recognized them. They didn't recognize him. Why Yosef did not say to them in the beginning, I am Yosef, I am your brother? Why he did the whole thing that he suspected them as spies, and he did the whole scenario, and which caused them also pain. Answered the son of the Shlach HaKadosh. Yosef, he had a dream he had two dreams, and he felt, and he saw it, that all the dreams are being fulfilled. That the dreams were not only a dream, this was a dream as a prophecy to the future. And the brothers are going to come to Egypt, this is what happened. And he understood that his father and his brothers will come also. But Yosef, he was a very sensitive person. He couldn't accept it, that his brothers will bow to him. He is a young brother, and especially that they didn't like him. So they will come now and they will bow to him. So therefore, he took care for their kavod. And he said to himself, I will not appear to them. And the dream that the brothers has to bow to me in the beginning, it will be better that they will bow to me as a king of Egypt, or as a deputy of a king of Egypt. This way, everyone comes to Egypt everyone came at that time to Egypt, and Yosef was the seller of the wheat. Everyone came to him, and everyone bowed to him. So they will bow to him also as a deputy, as not as Yosef, a brother, and as a stranger, a deputy of a king of Egypt. And this way, the dream will be fulfilled, and they will keep their honor. This was Yosef HaTzadik, that he was thinking about the honor of his brothers, even though they behaved with him in such a way. We see Yosef also a little bit later, in the same way that he behaves. The pasuk says in Parashat Vayechi ויאמר ליוסף, הנה אביך חולה. Somebody told to Yosef that his father is sick. Asks the Midrash, asks Rashi who told him. Says Rashi, Magidim. Who is the Magidim? So the Psikta, Rabbi explains, brings a lot of opinions. One opinion, they heard it through Ruach HaKodesh. Another opinion says the Psikta that Yesh Omrim, that Bilha, that she used to take care of Yaakov, and she saw Yaakov is sick, she sent a message to Yosef. Other explanation is that Benjamin told him. Ask the Psikta. You don't understand. Yosef, what was his specialty? That he gave a lot of kavod to Yaakov, to his father. Ask the Psikta, how can it be that he didn't come every day or every week to visit his father? And he would have known by himself that his father is sick. Because if Ruach HaKodesh or all these people wouldn't have tell Yosef that his father is sick, Yosef wouldn't have known about it. So how can it be that Yosef didn't come to visit his father at all? Answers the Psikta that Yosef, he didn't want to come alone to visit his father. He didn't want to be with him privately. Because if he would have been privately with his father, for sure, he was afraid that his father will ask him, Yosef, tell me, how did you come to Egypt? What happened? I sent you to see your brothers, and suddenly you find yourself in Egypt. Tell me the story. And Yosef, if his father asked him, he had to tell him. And Yosef was afraid that his father will be angry and he will curse all his brothers, says the Psikta. And Yosef knew that every word that Yosef is saying is being fulfilled, that Yaakov, that his father is saying, is being fulfilled. Therefore, Yosef didn't want to come to be with Yaakov alone. And says the Ramban, maybe based on this Psikta, says the Ramban in Perek Memhei, Pasuk Kaf Zayin, says the Ramban there, that according to the Pshat, Yaakov all his life, he didn't know. Nobody told him what happened. And Yaakov thought all the time that what happened was that Yosef got lost on the way, says the Ramban. People found him, they took him, and they sold him to Egypt. He says the Ramban. So the brothers, of course, didn't tell it to him anything, and Yosef also didn't tell him anything. This is Yosef. He wants to keep the honor of his brothers. Not only this, we see how Yosef is such a great tzaddik that when the pasuk says when his father came to Egypt, what did he do? Said the pasuk, Vayesor merkavto, Vayal לקראת ישראל אביו גושנה, וירא אליו. ויאסור מרכבתו. Yosef himself, as Abraham Avinu, he prepared his donkey on his own. As Rashi says there, Ahava mekalkelet et ashura, means what Abraham Avinu means love to Borei Olam. He broke the regular way that a servant is doing, preparing the donkey and not he himself. The same thing happened with Yosef. He himself prepared his chariot, and he came to Yaakov, and the pasuk says, "Vayera elav," to appear to him. Explains Rashi there. Yosef nir'a el aviv. Yosef appeared to his father. And here we have a question. Yosef didn't go by himself to see his father. He didn't see his father for such a long time. 22 years he didn't see his father. So he is going now to appear to him? Didn't he go in order to see his father by himself? The answer to this is that this is Yosef. Explains Rabbi Tzvi Pesach Frank in the name of Reb Naftali Trop. Here the pasuk wanted to teach us how Yosef was such a great tzaddik, even though he didn't see his father for 22 years, and he wanted very much to see his father. Nevertheless, at that time, what was in his mind? In his mind was, I want that my father will see me, that he will have the nachat, that I am alive, because he loved me so much. And he pushed to the side his private feeling that he wanted in order to see his father. He wanted to appear to his father. This was Yosef, that all the time he was thinking about others. I remember there is a story about the Mashgiach of Yeshivat Mir. His name was Rabbi Yerucham. Rabbi Yerucham Libovich. He is famous with his first name, Rabbi Yerucham. He was the Mashgiach of Yeshivat Mir in Lithuania. And there is a story about him, that one time he went with the train. He had to go with the train to another city, and the students came to escort him. When the train started to go, everyone waved with his hands to the Mashgiach. The Mashgiach was standing in the window, and he waved back. It was in the winter, it was very cold. So while the Mashgiach was waving with his hands, one of his gloves, the glove from his right hand, fell from the train. What did he do? See what the Mashgiach did. Immediately, he took off the glove from the left hand and threw it out of the window. And when he was asked later, why did he do it? So he said, with one glove, I cannot do anything. The person that will find the glove also will not be able to do with the glove that he will found anything. Because it's only one. So let me throw the other one, in order that the one that will find the first one, he will find the second one. And at least he will enjoy. And he will be able to use the gloves. This is a way of thinking of others and not to think only about yourself. And this was the way of Yosef. All the time he was thinking about his brothers, about the kavod of his brothers. This week, in Mitzvah Hashem, if Bet HaMikdash will not be built, we are going to fast on Tuesday, the fast of Asara B'Tevet. Asara B'Tevet is one of the fasts which are mentioned in Sefer Zechariah, Tzom HaRevi'i, V'Tzom HaChamishi, V'Tzom HaShvi'i, V'Tzom HaAsiri. The Tzom HaAsiri, the 10th, the fast on the 10th month. The 10th month is Tevet. So the reason that we are fasting on Asara B'Tevet is because this was the beginning of all the tzarot. Because at that time, Jerusalem was surrounded with a siege. And this was the beginning. And since this was the beginning of everything, therefore the fast of Asara B'Tevet is a very strict one. It's so strict that it's strict in a meaning. Yes, we don't. It's not like Tisha B'Av that we start in the evening, but it's strict that we find in the Abu Draham that says that even if Asara B'Tevet will fall on Shabbat, we will have to fast on Shabbat, like Yom Kippur. Why? Because there is a pasuk when Borei Olam said to Yechezkel Hanavi that to write, Yechezkel Hanavi was outside Eretz Israel, and Borei Olam told him to write, to take a paper and to write 10th of Tevet, was a siege around Yerushalayim. Why Borei Olam told him to write it down the day? In order to show it to the people around him in the diaspora. And this way, he will strengthen the Yechezkel that he is a true Navi, because at that time there was a lot of Nevi'ei Sheker, and therefore Borei Olam wanted to show them that you see, Yechezkel Hanavi gave a prophecy. He wrote the prophecy now, and 5 months later came the news from Yerushalayim that really on the 10th of Tevet the enemy made a siege around Yerushalayim. And since Borei Olam used at that time the words Ktov lecha et etzem hayom hazeh, so since was mentioned the word etzem hayom hazeh, and the same thing is written also on Yom Kippurim, be'etzem hayom hazeh, so the Abu Draham, it's a big chidush what he said. He made like a gezerah shava from the Torah to the Navi, and this is not this person gezerah shava a person cannot do by himself, especially not from a Navi from a Torah to a Navi, so therefore says the Abu Draham that if it falls Asara B'Tevet on Shabbat, he will have to fast. According to our calendar, it never happens. Asara B'Tevet never falls on Shabbat. But this, what said about the strictness of about the fast of Asara B'Tevet. The Khatam Sofer says that this fast is strict because of another reason. When the king of Babel, when he made the siege around Yerushalayim, says the Khatam Sofer, in Beit Din Shalmala, there was they were starting to think if the problem that we had on Asara B'Tevet will continue or will stop. Means to say, the siege will cause after this that Jerusalem will fall in the hands of the enemy or not. And the prosecutor at that time won. And at the end, Jerusalem was destroyed. Says the Khatam Sofer, since then, every year, says the Khatam Sofer, every year, on the 10th of Tevet, Beit Din Shalmala are sitting, and they are judging. Shall we continue with this fast? This fast will continue or not? And this is the meaning, what Chazal said, every generation, that Beit HaMikdash was not built at their time as if they destroyed it. So, in order to nullify this decree of the destruction, we are fasting on Asara B'Tevet. This fast is not for the past, and this fast is for the future. That the decree that we have till now will nullify. And he compares it to a fast for a person that had a bad dream. So when the person is fasting, he's not fasting what happened before, for the dream that he had before, and he's fasting in order that the dream will come to the good. And therefore, even on Shabbat, it says you can fast Ta'anit Chalom. If somebody had a bad dream, he can fast on Shabbat. He will have after Shabbat to fast because he fasted on Shabbat. But he is allowed to fast even on Shabbat because he doesn't have Oneg Shabbat. The same thing is the Asara B'Tevet, that this is a fast, not fasting for the past, says the Khatam Sofer, but this is a fast that the decree that we have till now will be nullified in the future. And therefore, it's according to the Khatam Sofer, this fast is pushing Shabbat because it's an oneg for a person that the future will be good. Let's hope, Bezrat Hashem, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will be fulfilled what Zcharia Navi said, Tzom HaRevi'i, V'Tzom HaChamishi, V'Tzom HaShvi'i, V'Tzom HaAsiri, יהפכו לבית ישראל לששון ולשמחה. Shabbat Shalom, and in Mitzvah Hashem, we will meet next week. Chazak Baruch to Avram Shomer, that he takes care that every time we will be able to continue with the Zoom, and of course to Isaac Dweck, that he is the establisher of this shiur. Shabbat Shalom.